In my most recent little update, I mentioned that I'm returning to YouTube, but I'm doing it by my own rules. I thought it might be nice to explain in this little video what I mean by that. And it's a very simple concept, but still one that takes articulation because some people can't understand what actually goes on when most creators on YouTube make content. They will make the kinds of videos they want to make. They'll create the content that they want, but they'll have to do it in such a way that it conforms to what YouTube expects and what their algorithm wants to promote. So they'll use certain word choices, certain editing styles, certain ways of actually getting the content finalized in editing. They'll do thumbnails a certain way and basically have to do everything they can to try to play with what YouTube currently decides is the way things should be. So rather than the content naturally gathering an audience and being shared equally, things that fit certain criteria are promoted more heavily, which incidentally limits the creative ability of the creator. They have to do everything with the system in mind. And to me, that destroys the very principle of having such a website, of having such a service available. And for several years, for a long time really, I tried to play the game, and I got burned out by it. That's not how I operate. And so what I'm choosing to do now is to do YouTube by my own rules. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to play the algorithm game. I'm not going to, spend 12 hours polishing up content just so that it can be perfect and meet every criteria. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. And if their advertiser-friendly criteria doesn't like it, tough shit. I'm going to make whatever content I want and whatever style I feel like at the time. And one of the biggest things is YouTube wants to penalize videos that don't get a lot of interaction, or more correctly, they wish to promote videos that get interaction. I don't care. What good is the interaction if it's not from people who actually enjoy the content, from it finding the proper audience, if YouTube's just going to show it to the peanut gallery who has nothing nice to say about anything? So, fuck comments. I don't care about people's comments. I've stopped for years caring about the likes and dislikes, which, contrary to popular belief, YouTube does not let you disable. You can only disable the visibility of them to others. That's not feedback to me. It's really not. There's no value in that. It doesn't tell you if somebody disliked it because there was actually a problem with it, or if it's just, I don't want to see it. I mean, to put it in terms that most people who may see this channel would understand, if I upload a video about Xbox, but some hyper PlayStation fan comes by, they're going to dislike it likely because that's just what people do, especially younger people. And I'm not making my content for that demographic anymore. I don't care. I'm not going to try to play the game that social media, that the modern internet, the modern web, I should say, has set up. It's a lose-lose situation, and all it does is make Google richer. I'm going to use their platform to do what I want to do, and if I reach the monetization threshold and start making some money off this again, cool. If not, whatever. And if someone really wants to compliment or criticize my work, I'm completely available. You can find me. You can find my email addresses on my website. You can find email addresses on here. I'm available on various social platforms. I have a phone number available that you can leave a voicemail on if you want. Feel free to. I make myself very reachable, but people don't want to go outside of the big three websites, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, to do their actual commentary and criticism. They don't want to come into somebody else's space and do this. And honestly, if you don't have gall enough to do that, if you don't have the courage enough to be able to directly message me with an articulate thought saying, hey, Chris, I really didn't like this video for these reasons, then your opinion doesn't fucking matter to me. That's simple. And it shouldn't matter to anybody's. What I want is a website where I can upload content and the content be there and be shared for its own sake, not for the sake of social interaction. That is not the be-all end-all. The content is what matters, not interaction, not algorithms, not any of this other garbage. In short form, that's what I mean by playing, doing YouTube on my terms, playing by my rules with it, not going by what it expects. I thought I'd be able to articulate this in a shorter time. Looks like this is a 6-minute video. It is what it is. If you want to join me in that, go ahead. Do your own thing. Let me know about it somewhere on, the interwebs. Send me an email, do something, and I'll check out what you're doing and try to promote it where I can. But when it's all said and done, I just feel that people who are creative should be able to create, and not a case of not have to deal with criticism, but to not have to deal with unmitigated hate. Valid critiquing is fine. It helps artists grow. I can very well take valid criticism, but what most people think is valid criticism isn't. It's not feedback. It's nothing but abject negativity, and nobody needs that. It just stifles creativity and growth. And that's all YouTube wants to promote, is the stifling of creativity and growth. It wants everyone to create the same stuff just to, for whatever purpose. Feeding advertisers, I guess. Getting them more content that they can advertise in front of and, reap more money for everyone except the people working so hard to create content. And nobody's gotten the idea that maybe that shouldn't be the focus. Maybe the focus should be the content. I understand websites need to make money, but YouTube is destroying itself with this, and everyone's been talking about it for years. I won't go on and on with it, but if it's a means to an end using the system against itself, to me, then I have no trouble with it. I'll sleep well at night knowing I'm putting the stuff that I actually want to put up online rather than having to, destroy, to mutilate my creative efforts because Google decided that this works better to appeal to a bunch of 12-year-olds than this or that. I mean, it all unsettles me, really rubs me the wrong way. But I've meandered and rambled enough about this subject. Thanks for listening. Catch everyone next time.